So what do you prepare yourself for, or what is the one thing you do before going in front of investors, ensuring that you make your best pitch over there?
The first thing that I would look at, Anand, would be my numbers. If I'm confident of my numbers, whether it is good, bad, ugly, it doesn't matter. But as long as you're able to substantiate your numbers with reasons as to why are you achieving those numbers, I think investors will get to know. Because if you try faffing around there, nothing is going to work because they will read between the lines. When I saw a few startups here who were also kind of pretty honest about the fact that we have not tried it. I mean, they could have very well just faffed their way around saying that those who look, I think somebody said we've not retrograde. You guys, right? We're talking about the prototype hua nahi hai, and you're not sure about whether it's going to fit the switch box. And again, Vivek asked you that question about whether it will fit and all of that. You were clear. You could have very well said it fits. You didn't, because you said your home it fits, other homes I don't know. So I think if you have your data in place and if you know the numbers well, and if you're confident of your own product, then I think investors will. So if I were to prepare, I will ensure that I know my numbers, and then I'll go and pitch. Baki tu, you know the product, you know what you're doing, but data is not something that everybody is well versed with. So I'm also not good at it. Sometimes I depend on my co-founder to take care of that.
So there you go, guys. So product you already know. Numbers is what you prepare for while going in front of the investors. Can we go to Vivek next? Sure. Vivek, since you have been more on the investor side, what do you look for in these startups or the startup founders while saying yes for funding, especially given that, say, today we had pitches for 5 minutes. So such short elevator pitches, what do you actually look for in those 5 minutes?
The first thing I look at is, does the founder know the market better than anybody else? Anybody can create a pitch, anybody can go and, get the large TAM numbers. But do you really understand the market the way nobody else does? Which means that you have done your research, right? And as soon as you ask basic questions, you get to know the depth of the work done by the startup. Now, depending on the startup stage, obviously the funding will differ. But if you are early stage, as most of the startups here are ideation stage or pre-revenue or MVP stage, you really need to iterate on your assumptions, right? Plan looks great on Excel and PPT, but what happens when that plan hits the road, when the rubber hits the road, right? So the first premise is that whatever you're thinking, go and test it. And be self-aware that there are certain assumptions inherent in your own plan, right? I think that's what I look for.
So in 5 minutes, you're saying that you look for what are the market, how prepared you are.
I look for the knowledge that a founder has with respect to their market.
The knowledge about the market and its plan.
Do they really understand the market in depth that they're trying, or they have just created ChatGPT plans or just ideated in their rooms and not done user interviews, for example. Some cases here we figured out that they have not spoken to the user at all. Right.
So for example, one of the startups we saw today had mentioned on the slide a market of say 6.5 billion growing at a 40% CAGR.
Nobody cares about that.
Yeah. So
unless you show what you have done, right? The TAM numbers will come much later.
So guys, the learning is in 5 minutes, what is important is not just to put numbers, what you have actually tested, what you have actually seen, what you can actually justify in those 5 minutes is what is most critical rather than just putting large numbers on the screen. So Pallavi, over to you now. Okay, for you, what makes a pitch stand out to you? Any quick tips that you would like to share with these young founders? What should they do to with your heart or with your pockets to say?
Yeah, definitely there are few points, which is like, one is the confidence in their product. like whatever you are pitching for, the product should be your core strength. Because if you have decided to create some product or service, you should be well versed, as Vivek mentioned, but also the confidence in it. That, you know, I believe that first pitch you should do in front of your own parents, and they should feel like funding you. Before going out in the market and asking for the fund, just try it once. Try it with your own, parents. And they should feel like they want to fund what you have created. And if they can feel the same thing, if they would have, amount to fund you and they would like to fund you, then you can go out and anybody in the world can be able to fund you then. Then you are done. Then you are set for your pitch.
I so agree. Parents are the worst investors, I think. It's most difficult to get money out of their pockets. So if you are able to do that, then Pallavi will be, you can get her contact. Okay, Anish, over to you. So according to you, what are the best ways for these founders? So for example, we gave multiple networking opportunity today, say a tea break, a lunch break. According to you, what are the best ways to network with investors within those short span of tea breaks, lunch breaks, or whatever time you get with those investors? What are the best ways to network and draw attention towards the startup?
So the best way is today, when I was here, at least 5-6 startups from I think the university only came up and approached, and they were very keen to know what and how things can be done. So of course this is the best way, and whenever you are coming up, you come with at least for me the first kick कि आप जो दो first line बोल रहे हो ना वो बहुत matter करती है, क्योंकि because we have come here, we have less time, although not saying that we are very big people and etc., but you should have something in the first two lines that I or any other investor would love to listen to you. That 2-liners, 3-liners, or the punchline of your company product, it will give a big impact to the investor who may start thinking about you, and probably he will say, okay, right now we don't have too much time, let's discuss it over a call. Maybe you can come, if you are in the same city, you can come and meet, or of course the Zoom meetings and etc. are done. So yes, वो एक लाइन क्या है, वो हर स्टार्टअप की एक अलग लाइन होगी, वो हर स्टार्टअप की अच्छी लाइन होगी ना, वो मैं अभी सॉरी वो मैं सिखा भी सकता हूँ, बट जैसे एक मेरे लिए ना सस्टेनेबिलिटी बहुत इम्पैक्ट वाली एक प्रोडक्ट है. अभी sorry, Praveen just came to me and now I want to talk to him for like 20-25 days, and I'm sure I will try to do something for him. So if Vivek has love for AI, so probably somebody who is building something in AI and he comes up with the idea. Of course the idea content has to be in that 2 lines. Okay boss, ये नहीं है कि हाँ मैं आ गया हूँ कुछ करके जाऊँगा, वो नहीं. But yes, I want to change this, I am working on this, but it has to be in a very different style, and everyone has his own style.
Such an important point, Anish. I believe for this event we had already disclosed the names of investors that are coming in. Ideally, I would have probably researched about each of these investors. What do they invest in? What do they like? Like just Anish just said that sustainability is where his heart lies, and if someone starts talking about sustainability, he gets attracted to that startup, at least to start with. Just because we have started sustainability, and Anish mentioned Praveen, I'll ask Praveen to also share his thoughts about this.
One thing I'd like to add, so if you know that we 5 are investors out here, and if you are here to get investment, you should know whom to talk. First, second, third and fourth. Maybe the 5th one you need not to talk. Getting me? तो हो सकता है कि मेरे को सस्टेनेबिलिटी में फंड डालना है या मेरे को AI में डालना है, so I may be less interested. So
You can take this mic. You need to change the mic. Yeah, I think some issue.
I'll just add to what Anish said about the networking when Anand's question was, because I recall, Kiran is your name? In your last slide, you spoke about having attended Dubai, Lisbon, TechSparks, Bangalore, and then you also ended that statement by saying that wherever such things happen, we are there. Exactly. Now, that's a big thing. So, being present in such events and such meetings or such conferences is extremely important of being out there. My conversation with Anish also was after lunch, we were just walking back to this hall. Now, I didn't know about Anish, right? I just started talking to him, we just spoke about it, and now we plan to keep in touch and kind of talk more. So it's all about just being out there and just maximum meet people, and then you never know what is going to click when. Maybe you meet somebody today, it might materialize a year later, but meet.
I so envy your memory, Praveen. You are able to point out who said what. That's an excellent thing. So, Prashant, over to you. So, I don't know if you have, if you remember mistakes that you would have made, but if you do, would you like to share, one mistake, maybe as an investor or, as an entrepreneur, anything in your past life which you would have made, which you would like to share as a learning for these students?
So as an investor, it's been start for me. But as an entrepreneur, a mistake that I would have made, and I think I was once told as well, that I should not, since I'm in a service sector business, I should not offer everything. So I need to niche out my service, be specialized in that, and be confident more towards that, and work on that only, so that you can expand your services. So do not open your basket that कि हम सब करते हैं. Work on something जिस पे आपको confidence है. You have आपके skills को वो set करो, and you pitch out that only.
So very, very important point to find your moat, not just talk about everything, not about offer everything. Find your moat and concentrate on that moat, which is more important, rather than listing all the services that you can, which everyone does. Everyone else can also do the same thing.
I think एक startup भी आया था, which started with more CRM tool, and then it went towards कि landing page creation भी हो सकता है, and there was another thing as well.
I can stand and do that, no problems. So sorry, Prashant, you were just saying the last line, if you can
Yeah,
repeat
so
what you were saying.
there was one startup as well, which started as a CRM tool. They introduced themselves as a CRM tool,
Correct.
and then they went on ahead wherein they said that they have the landing page. One can create landing page. So I think one should focus on particular service, specialize in that, and offer that,
So with
that
this-
you have a best command towards.
With the same example, can you specify how could that have been little different when they pitched? Could they have done something better there?
So in terms, they could have done a proper competitor analysis and let the audience, your customer, know how they are better from their competitors, what is their USP exactly, and based on that USP you can pitch yourself.
So moat, basically.
Yes.
Concentrate on your moat. So back to you, Anish. So Anish, we discussed a while back that putting numbers means nothing unless you actually have done that research, you have lived it. How do these people find that big problem statement, whether that is a real problem or not a real problem? While we all see there's a huge market about various problems that we are discussing, but is that a real problem for the customers, or is there a real big market for that problem? Because market which is available in Google is very random or broad, industry specific, but if I were to pinpoint the moat that we were discussing, whether the market for that moat is big enough or not, how do I find out that?
See, all the problems and their solutions, people mentioned that the TAM is in billions, etc., etc., and it has a lot of to be thought about where that particular problem is prevailing and where the solution is being made. You know, I'll say OpenAI or ChatGPT is solving the entire the multiple problems, and it is helping all kind of entrepreneurs, you know, salaried people, everybody. So they have solved a bigger problem, but when they started, probably they didn't had this in mind. Okay, we will solve a particular problem for a particular country and a particular domain. So I think mood has to be very clear here, and you know, it is sector wise, of course. You know, there could be a, you know, TAM which is huge in billions, but actual market can be low at a particular place where it is built. So I think it.
Anyone else also, if any other panelist also wants to contribute to any of these questions, feel free. Huh? So Pallavi, over to you. Back to you, sorry. So how important is to have a co-founder? And a co-founder maybe of a different sex, maybe of a different stream. Like Praveen just said that, you know, sometimes he relies for numbers on his co-founder. So maybe, you know, have a co-founders, one who's more business centric, one who's more number centric. How important it is to have one?
That is a really important question, because when I was building up my business, I was also thinking that maybe I can do everything, but that is not humanly possible, I can tell now, when I have a co-founder, and it is much more relaxed. So why co-founder is important? It is not a matter of another sex or same sex or whatever. Your friend is there as a co-founder, or whoever you are comfortable with, or maybe you decide a co-founder according to the need of the product you are building. That could also be requirement. Like how I see that out of all the pitches we have had till now, I see only the two products had just the founder's name on the sheet. I think one was from the you pitched one, and who were doing the electricals thing, and the other one was from Kiran, I believe, right? So, but I don't know how these people are managing till now, but when Kiran showed that they had team, so it was much more understandable that you have already this team set up. Maybe you have not just decided to give the title or something to somebody yet, but there is a time when you have to give the responsibility. Like being a founder is not just you take all the responsibilities. It is also to decide and delegate things. So having a founder gives you that cushion to have that space where you can be wrong also sometimes, and they can correct you back. I believe that is important.
Thanks Pallavi, thank you so much. Just one more question. Does different sex co-founder help?
I don't have a different sex co-founder, so I can't comment on that though. But I don't think it is.
Do you miss having a different sex co-founder?
No, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter. You are working on a product or service-based company, or you are building something. What skill set they have matters. It doesn't matter what person is that. I think so. Skill set matters.
Thank you Pallavi, for being so frank. So Vivek, for you, see, sometimes it's said that while many startups can scale up to a level, many investors start looking from whether a private equity would fund it, and then VC would look at whether PE will fund or not, and hence VC will fund it. Angel will look at whether VC will fund or not, and hence Angel will fund it. So they start, from top to bottom, they start going backwards.